Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure diorama review. Today, we're going to be looking at the NECA street scene diorama, and this is the cartoon variation. This is intended for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated figures, but can be used for so much more. I use these NECA street scene dioramas in the background for a lot of my action figure reviews, and I'm very happy to have a third one to add to the mix. This one being from the cartoon. This should work great with both video game and animated figures. In this video, we'll look at the assembly of this thing. We'll check out the measurements, all the action features and accessories, and then we'll look at it compared with a wide variety of action figure lines to see what fits in both scale and style-wise with this thing. I will say off the get-go, this thing will accommodate pretty much anything from the smaller 6-inch figures to the taller 8-inch figures. And after all that, we'll take a look at where it's going to go in my action figure city. This thing is going to be a great addition to my overall 1/12 scale action figure world. I would call the NECA street scene diorama a holy grail in 1/12 action figure collecting. So, let's see how we got to this point. So this is the box that was sitting on my doorstep today. It's got the NECA tape around the top and a description of the item. Normally I would have expected NECA to put this into another box and ship it. That's what they did last time, but it's all good. They even put the shipping label right smack on the box here. And of course, I did get 2 of these dioramas to enhance my overall action figure city. And inside that box was another cardboard box. I was expecting something showing the cartoon diorama, some kind of traditional action figure packaging, but it's just cardboard, blank on all the sides, and this will contain your diorama. I guess they did that because this was only available at the NECA store, and no retail stores would be having this, so they didn't have to advertise what it is. Alright. Now that we got this thing out of the package, here it is laid out on the table. It looks massive, and it looks great. I like the cartoon look to it. Cartoony, but not too cartoony. It'll work with your realistic figures as well. I noticed this thing has quite a few more accessories than the other version. Looking forward to digging deep those. So, let's start the assembly. I need to remind you, I did get 2 of these things, so I'll be building both of them at the same time. So let's go ahead and start the assembly. But in order to do that, we're going to have to look at the instructions. There are a lot of pieces put together. So, page 1, it's just sort of a parts list. Page 2, another parts list. Page 3, the assembly. So for starters, you're going to want to take all these brick window pieces out and attach the sort of glass window inside. It's not actually glass, plastic, simulating glass. Do all that first, and then we'll move on to step 2. So you'll take these wall pieces that have the windows, pick them up, you pop the window piece out, the bricks come out pretty easily. Then flip it around. As you can see, there are these little pegs here. Take this window pane, slide it on, slip the pegs into the holes, and then you'll have your windows. And now we have all 5 of the window panes in. You can see in here a little bit more reflection now. I actually personally usually keep mine out of the diorama for 2 reasons. Number 1, the reflection when I'm doing my videos can be very frustrating and annoying. Number 2, I like my figures to be able to reach in and out through the window. Then the next step here, it's going to be quite a bit. You're going to attach the pavement at the bottom 4 of walls. You're also going to attach these little sort of pipes on the front, and then the next layer. And for this next step, you're going to have to assemble all 7 of these pieces. And now it looks like this. It's really starting to take shape already. And how's the other one doing over here? A-okay, coming along nicely as well. Now we're going to move on to the next step. This is going to involve the next set of walls on the second story, and then the rooftop piece. And for this next step, you'll attach these other 6 pieces. Now it's looking like this. The building is almost fully assembled. And building number 2 coming along nicely, looking exactly the same. And the next step, it's going to be to take 40 of these brick pieces and plug in all the holes all around the diorama. Now we have all 40 of the bricks in place. No more holes in the wall. It is ridiculous that it comes with 40 of those bricks. On the previous 2 dioramas, there was just 1 accessory, a little air conditioning unit that would attach on the outside. And you had 40 different options where to put it. Seemed quite excessive. I was just wondering if maybe they'd make an accessory pack that would allow you to have different attachments, and they never did. Maybe this one has some different accessories. We'll see in a few minutes. I will say there's one shortcoming with these bricks. These things fall out very easily. On the other two dioramas, they're very snug and secure. This one here, as I pick up the diorama, take it into my action figure room and out, these things are falling all over the place. And to add insult to injury, they're the same color as the carpet. It's kind of trying to find. And it's similar with these window and doorway brick pieces that come out. They come out a lot easier on this set. They don't really fall out like the bricks do, but I notice a big difference between the previous NECA street scene dioramas. And the next step is going to add some stability to the roof. You're going to take 5 of these pieces and attach them under the top roof. You'll take these 5 pieces and attach them under the ceiling. These 5 pieces will add a little bit of stability and durability to the diorama. And then we have the next step. It's going to be to take these 6 sort of blocky pieces and attach them to the back. That will allow you to put the pegs in there and attach the cardboard back piece. You'll attach these 6 pieces to the back of the diorama. Pieces will attach like this. They have peg holes for the pegs for the cardboard back. And now we're going to attach the back cardboard piece. As you can see on the instructions, there will be 6 pegs, 3 on either side, and then it will be on the back like so. Here's the cardboard back piece of the city, and here are the 6 pegs. This thing is big. It's going to open, unfold. It's black at the bottom. We got the daylight cartoon diorama in the back, but this thing is also double-sided. We've got the nighttime on the back side. Pretty nice. And here's the diorama fully assembled. We've got the daytime background scene on there. It looks good. It's an animated city. And here's a street scene diorama with the nighttime background. I personally think I prefer the nighttime background, as it's just a little bit cooler. So I went ahead and switched to a different table for the rest of this review. Needed some more room. Now, speaking of this cardboard back piece, the different versions of the diorama released before came with different versions of the cardboard back piece. This one came with the movie version, here's the animated version, and this one came with the standard release. These two street scene dioramas do look absolutely fantastic next to each other. That's why I got 2 of them, to have an even longer street scene diorama. This is going to be a great piece of my city. My only complaint about doing this is at the bottom. It's curved on the left side, so it kind of interrupts the sidewalk. But it's a very minor gripe. This thing looks fantastic. Here are both of them with the daytime city diorama background piece. And here are both of them with the nighttime animated background piece. Like I said before, they are interchangeable with the previous background city pieces. Here are both sets with the daytime city background piece that came with the light brown street scene diorama. And that set also came with the reversible background piece. Here it is with the nighttime version. And finally, here they are with the original 1990 darker brown movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle street scene diorama. This I would say is my favorite background of all of them, but the realistic look doesn't really match the animated look very well. But personally, I prefer to display this diorama without the cardboard back piece. It is a nice piece, but I really like the way these things look like this. They're not quite as tall, they don't block as much stuff in my action figure city, and if you were to take 2 of these dioramas and butt them up against each other, it makes an awesome building, 3D, all 4 sides, and has a very large rooftop area. And here's a look at the fully assembled 3D building from the front. Like I said, looks fantastic, blends in nicely, and gives you a very large rooftop surface here. But we're getting a little off track here. Let's continue with the assembly. The building itself is complete, but there's still a bunch of accessories to add. So let's take this instruction book. We have the NECA diorama accessory parts list. And then to start the actual assembly, we have the antenna tower assembly instruction. In order to complete the antenna, you will need all 5 of these pieces. Once you have the antenna tower assembled, it's going to look like this. It's going to have the antenna at the top, little satellite at the front here, and the 2 pieces here that are going to connect to the corner of the roof. It'll connect onto the top right corner like so. These gray pieces will fit around the edges, and if you wanted to, You could attach it the other way on the left-hand side. Simply just flip the thing around. And to keep the customizable, interchangeable theme going, since I have two of these sets, you could put an antenna on both sides of the roof. And continuing to look at the accessories. Next, let's check out the hanging sign assembly instructions. You have to pop out some of the bricks, replace them with these bricks, add a little pole, then add the hanging sign. You will need these 5 pieces to assemble the hanging sign. You have to pop out these 2 brick pieces, one near the top of the building and one near the bottom of the top window. Replace those bricks with the 2 bricks here that have the hole in them. Then add these 2 sort of sticks or poles, support beams for the sign. And voila, you've got the pizza advertisement. For my uses, I'm probably not going to have this attached most of the time, and you'll see that later when I incorporate this into my action figure city. Now you want to assemble the billboard. Billboard assembly instructions. Now let's assemble the billboard. In order to do so, you're going to have to use 10 of these 12 different pieces. You have 3 different options on which billboard you'd like to use. One amusing thing about these pieces, these 5 lights here, one of my sets came with 5 lights and one of them came with 6. My first thought was I got short of one of the lights on one of these sets, but when looking at the instructions, I realized each set should have come with 5. I had a factory error that one came with 6. About time I had a factory error in my favor. Now to pick which billboard you want to display. I'm going to go with Ray's Jumbo Pizza. Being a Ninja Turtle set, pizza makes the most sense. You'll take this billboard piece here, you can slide it in a little crevice, like so. Then take this beam, you'll be able to attach it to the back of this, and that's going to allow you some holes to attach the lights. And now the billboard is going to look like this. Lights on the top, illuminating the sign, looking pretty nice. If you want the billboard to simply stay on the roof of this diorama, you have to attach these triangle base pieces on the back. And if you want to attach a billboard directly to the brick wall, you can remove either one of these 2 brick pieces, and on the back of the billboard they've got a little sort of area you can insert into the brick. You could have it down here, you could have it up here, a lot of different options. And if you wanted to, there's no reason you couldn't have both billboards on the rooftop here. That'll leave us with these 3 plastic accessories. We've got an air conditioner, a fire hydrant, and a manhole cover. They can pretty much be put anywhere on the set, no assembly required. This air conditioner will fill in where one of the bricks is. Here's a diorama with all the plastic accessories attached. Like I said before, very customizable and interchangeable. You can put these pieces in countless different places. And that's going to leave you with these 7 decals. These things are adhesive and can go pretty much anywhere on the diorama. I'm going to go ahead and leave these things off for now, as I want this diorama to be sort of as plain and generic as possible. That we can use it for a bunch of different action figures, not just for the turtles. This has 3 different wanted posters, and then 4 different films starring Ace Duck. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the diorama, its assembly, and its accessories, now let's check out the measurements of this thing. As far as how wide it is, it's sitting at about 25.25 inches wide. As far as how deep it goes, going to be sitting at about 12.5 inches deep. And then its height from the first to the second level, it's going to be about 10 inches tall. To the top of the plastic part of the diorama, to the third level, about 19.25 inches tall. And then if you want to go to the top of the cardboard background piece, about 28 inches tall. That's how much clearance you're going to need if you're going to want to accommodate this entire display. And if you wanted to know how wide it would be to have 2 of these dioramas next to each other, it's going to be sitting at about 50.5 inches wide. You're going to need a lot of room to accommodate 2 of these things. And then here are 2 of the dioramas taking their place in my overall action figure city. As you can see, we've got 2 of the dark brown NECA street scene dioramas, 2 of the light brown, and then 2 of the animated version. Not sure if they're going to stay here forever, but they're going to be here for a while. Loving the addition to the action figure city. You can also display these things across from each other. I took some Diamond Select Toys, Gotham sidewalk pieces, put them between. We've got two buildings with a street between them, almost like a neighborhood setting. Works fantastic for this as well. And then to take it one step further, here's some cardboard background pieces, a fire escape diorama, and then some trash cans and a dumpster. A nice little city setup. This diorama can be used in a variety of different rooftop scenes. Here's a scene for the Dark Knight trilogy. Here's some Mattel Movie Master Batman figures. We've got Batman, Commissioner Gordon, and Harvey Dent having a meeting on the GCPD rooftop. Or maybe it's a little more appropriate to use the animated Batman figures with this diorama. Here's a set of DC Direct, Batman meeting Commissioner Gordon and Detective Bullock. Here's a Mattel DC Universe Classics Batman and Catwoman having an encounter on the rooftop. And then a Mafex Suicide Squad Deadshot sniping off the roof. Now let's check this thing out next to some other dioramas, starting off with the other NECA street scene dioramas. Here it is, next to the original release of the NECA street scene diorama. This was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Probably my favorite three versions, as it's a little darker, more realistic. But I have much love for both of them. And here it is, next to the second release, the NECA street scene diorama. This is a lighter brown version. This one had a wide release. Anybody was able to get this thing, and I'm pretty sure NECA re-released it in recent history. And having two of each of these dioramas can give you a pretty full city here. Here it is, next to the Diamond Select Toys, Ghostbusters, Collect and Connect rooftop diorama. This thing is huge, massive, wider than the NECA street scene diorama. You have to get 15 Ghostbuster figures to complete this thing. It's another great, regular, real-world city building display. Speaking of dioramas that look great butted up against each other, the NECA diorama is not the only one. This Diamond Select Toys Ghostbusters rooftop diorama is absolutely fantastic if you have two of them next to each other. Then, next to another Diamond Select Toys Ghostbusters Collect and Connect diorama, this is the front of the firehouse. And here it is, next to an Extreme Sets cardboard pop-up diorama, the Building 1.0. Sure, this thing's just cardboard, but it's a great addition to my action figure city. Then, here it is, next to the Extreme Sets Building 2.0. And here, next to the Extreme Sets Building 3.0. Then, next to the Extreme Sets Building 4.0. And here, with Extreme Sets Building 5.0. And I know it's getting quite a bit excessive at this point, but here it is next to the Extreme Sets Building 6.0 diorama. Then, next to the Extreme Sets Pop-Up Cabin diorama. And here it is next to a 12 Worlds Ruins of Building, both versions A and B put together. Now let's check this thing out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how it fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix it with. Like I said before, this thing will pretty much work with any figures from the smaller 6-inch scale to the larger 7 and almost 8-inch scale. I will say style-wise, this particular diorama is probably better with your video game or animated figures, but I'm going to use it for my overall city, so I'm just going to put a bunch of figures that are regular looking from different companies. Here it is, next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys. I do plan to start out with these comparisons with some of the larger lines I collect and work my way smaller. And here it is, with some different McFarlane toys. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And here it is, with some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro, Marvel Legends. And here, with some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, these dioramas are fantastic. They accommodate such a wide variety of action figures. I will admit this is probably my least favorite of the three different releases, as it's a little bit more cartoony, and I prefer more of the real world style action figure collecting. This thing comes with some accessories that were not released with the other Street Scene dioramas, and they are great. I'm going to get a ton of mileage out of both this diorama and the accessories. Very, very pleased to have this third variation added to the collection. I wonder if they're going to make a fourth down the line. NECA's definitely gotten their use out of this mold, and I'm very pleased with what they're doing. This is a great enhancement to my overall action figure city. Very happy to have it. It was only available for a narrow window at the NECA store. If I were to rate this thing, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Like I said, it is my least favorite of the three, but I'm still loving the hell out of this thing. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure and diorama reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.